So, we got more drama. This is just what we need, right? After losing to the Cleveland Browns, we have more problems going on. Now, whether there's problems, it's around T. Higgins. Wide receiver T. Higgins doesn't intend to negotiate a long-term extension with the Bengals in the middle of the 2023 NFL season, according to the Athletics. Higgins is in the final year of his rookie contract and due to hit free agency in 2024. The Athletics reported the Bengals extended an offer to the fourth year wideout, but it was considered low by the player. Thanks to the ownership, the Bengals have a long-standing reputation for being cheap. However, failing to retain Higgins would be a bigger reflection of the difficulty of working within the NFL salary cap. The Bengals did everything right when they selected Higgins and Joe Burrow in 2020 NFL Draft and followed up with a Jamar Chase the following year. The downside is keeping all three will be very costly. Burrow is fresh off receiving the biggest contract in NFL history, 5 years, $275 million, and with $219 guaranteed. Front office now has decided whether it wants to keep both Higgins and Chase while having enough flexibility to maintain a roster good enough to keep chasing the AFC title. Spotrac pegs Higgins' market value at a $22.6 million annually, with Chase coming up in at a $24.9 million. Those salaries would rank 9th and 5th among receivers respectively. That's not even like I don't know why they are putting them value at that. Let's be honest, Jamar Chase is going to get whatever Justin Jefferson gets plus more. And Justin Jefferson right now, he wants to be the highest paid receiver in football. And the highest paid receiver in football right now is $30 million in Tyreek Hill. So Jay Jettis is going to get at least 30 plus mil. And if he gets 30 plus mil, Jamar Chase has made it very clear that he is waiting to see what happens with Jay Jettis before he gets his contract, and he's very excited to see how much Jay Jettis gets. Because again, Jay Jettis is probably going to get 32 mil a year. That means Jamar Chase is probably going to get 33 a year. I don't know where they got the 24.9 million. I think that's not even close to what he's actually going to want to get. So that's going to get. 22.6 I think it's more realistic to what T is probably going to get. I think T gets 25 a year. But yeah, that's more realistic than the Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, that's nowhere close. That's 10 million off. And yet you might say, well, that's a lot of money. That's just how it is, man. That's just how it is with the new market and new receiver, new receivers up pretty much. The next man up mentality, you get paid the most. Those salaries would rank 9th and 5th among receivers respectively. For context, Seattle Seahawks have the 3rd highest AAV at wideout. And their combined spending total, $46.6 million, is less than Higgins and Chase market value put together. Again, based on your metrics, but your metrics is incorrect. I don't know what to tell you there. Kansas City Chiefs face a similar dilemma to the Bengals, but they're decided giving Tyreek Hill a market value level extension simply wasn't worth it. Tennessee Titans have reached the same conclusion with A.J. Brown. Kansas City Chiefs wound up winning this last year's Super Bowl, while Tennessee watched Brown play a key role in the NFC champions Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, I don't think this is an interesting take. No, you cannot compare the Tennessee Titans' absolute blunder to anything between us and the Kansas City Chiefs, and no. The Titans got rid of him because the Titans are stupid. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's pretty much that. The Titans didn't have 3 players on the offense costing them an arm and a leg. They didn't have a lot of players costing them an arm and a leg. What happened there was the contract was up, and they traded him because they didn't think they needed him. They thought they could go draft somebody else to replace him and be absolutely fine, and that's literally all they thought they could do. And then what ended up happening was they couldn't. And it was trash. And they drafted the guy who was a garbage. And then they ended up, their GM, I think a GM or head coach got fired because of it. No, it was their GM because Mike Vrabel was still there. Their GM got fired because of it. So, no, there was no, you're putting correlations together that simply aren't there. The Titans have nothing to do with the situation we're in or the situation that the Chiefs were in. The Chiefs, again, had a situation that was very, I guess, very similar to our situation in a way. They had Travis Kelce they needed to pay. They had Tyreek Hill they needed to pay. And they had Chris Jones they needed to pay. And there's a couple other guys, too, on that roster they needed to pay. And there was a lot of players. And yeah, at the end of the day, that does happen when you have a Super Bowl roster. You're going to have a crap ton of players who need money, and they're all very good players. So at the end of the day, you have to pay them or you lose them. And so I get the Chiefs situation. They got rid of Tyreek Hill. In reality, they got rid of him and got, a bag for him. Let's be honest. They got an absolute bag for him. But, yeah, it is what it is. Listen, at the end of the day, on the spectrum, the Bengals might be closer to the Chiefs because with Higgin'S, they both lean on Burrow and Chase to anchor the passing game. Now, this is just... Listen, I made a video earlier breaking down the new contract that Joe just got, right? We got the details of Joe Burrow's contract. If you guys did not see my video earlier, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek because, honestly, I just want to get the best information possible here. This is what it is. This is the contract right here. There's also $80 million. It's also $80 million of bonus money that's put into this contract too. So, and how the 90 million bonus money works is 55 of it is actually split up throughout the last 5 years of the contract. So that's why you see 13 million, 13 million, 13 million, 13 million, 2 million. That's the extra 55 million. And then there's, other than that, there's 35 million. That's also bonus money that is going to be added somehow into this contract. So it's a really weird contract. They gave him a 40 million roster bonus. They didn't give him a signing bonus. They gave him a 40 million roster bonus, which is supposed to be like a signing bonus, but it's supposed to be you get the guaranteed money right away with the roster bonus. That's not the case. They're actually turning that into a signing bonus so that they can push it throughout 5-year period. That's what they're also doing with optional bonuses. So what they did pretty much, in theory, was they took $130 million of his contract and they made it into optional bonuses, / roster bonuses, that they're pushing toward the future and splitting out between 5 years. And they're probably going to also use voidable years. We don't know exactly what's going on there. But they did all that to keep players like T. Higgin'S, Jamar Chase, all these. This contract is very, very team friendly. It is. I mean, you don't usually see contracts structured like this in any way because of the fact that, again, quarterbacks, they usually just want the guarantee, they want all their money. And they really structured half of his contract to be just pushing toward the future. Now, with that being said, to the point that they said the other point of the lowball offer, I understand that completely too. Listen, you can't disrespect the player. You can't. You can't offer the player nothing, okay? I'm not Jamar, sorry. T, I think he is a very respectful player, right? And I mean, obviously off the field, he's a great guy, he's an amazing person. But I mean, as a player, he's a very respectful player, right? And I've said this many times when it comes to business is there are times in business, right? Because I did go to college for business. I got 4 years. I got my business degree. Business administration degree. I got 2 years, and I got a computer science 4-year degree. But nonetheless, though, so I do know something about business, right? And when you negotiate business, yes, you can disrespect the person, right? If I go with you into a offer, right, and I'm like, okay, I want to buy you a toaster, right? And your idea of what you want to sell your toaster for is $100, right? You want to sell $100. If I come in to that offer and I say, you know what, I'll give you $1 for that toaster, you might look at me and say, that ain't worth my time. And you just walk off because I'm nowhere close to your offer, right? I'm 100 times less than what you want for your toaster. So you might just say, okay, that's not even worth the money, and you just walk off and you're not even going to negotiate. There is a thing called disrespecting the other party when it comes to negotiating a contract or anything, right? And so you have to remember that when you go into a contract. So, for example, based on what the Athletics is saying here, it looks like, they went in there and they just absolutely disrespected him. They absolutely just went in there and said, okay, you know what? We're just going to give you probably, Are you okay with 15 million a year? We know you probably want 25, but you okay with 15 a year or 10 a year? And yeah, it's gonna be a whole entire mess. Now, him not negotiating throughout the year, I don't know if that's 100% the whole respectful problem, right? I'm not gonna completely. I don't think there might not even be a correlation there, and that might has nothing to do with the disrespect at all. Lamar Jackson last year with his contract offer, he refused to negotiate throughout the year, and the reason why is because he said, "Hey, listen, I don't want to worry about this throughout the season. I want to work on the season and worry about the season, and that's it." Now Lamar was representing himself, while Jamar. Sorry, I keep saying Jamar Chase. T. Higgins has his own, agent. So his agent's going to work on it while T is just, doing whatever he wants to do. So it might be, again, in the party of he feels disrespected. He feels like, they lowballed him and they said he wasn't worth the correct money. So it might be that. Or it might, again, it could also be one other thing, which is like the player sometimes says, hey, listen, you know what? Whatever you're going to offer me, clearly you lowballed me, right? But I'm going to go out there and have the best season in my life. I'm going to go out there and put up crazy great numbers. And what's going to happen here is we're going to talk about this at the end of the season. But guess what? My price tag, whatever my price tag was, it's way more now. Yesterday's price tag is not today's price tag. Because you just negotiated with a T. Higgins before the year. Now you're negotiating with a T. Higgins who has 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, any other team would be really willing to negotiate with that T. Higgins, right? So rather than, let's say, for example, a T. Higgins that really hasn't done anything this season yet, right, because of the whole, season just started. So again, there's a whole concept structure, I would say, in that. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see how it ends up going, to be honest, and how everything, gets done. But yeah, no, this is very negative news toward the fact that I hate the fact we lowballed him. I hate the fact that we're being cheap about this. But again, it's just such a difficult situation to be in. It really is. Because at the same time, I understand both perspectives. I understand the Bengals in the aspect of, listen, we don't have all the money in the world. We have to pay Jamar Chase his money. He's going to want $30+ million a year. We also got to pay T. Higgins his money. He's going to want the certain amount of money too. But at the same time, you can't disrespect the person. You can't disrespect the guy. You got to offer a reasonable offer. If you come in there too low and think, oh yeah, I'm just going to take advantage. Pretty much it's taking advantage of the player. By offering a player that low, you're taking advantage of him. You're trying to say, well, I know you love this team. You want to be a part of this team. So here's an offer that is ridiculously low just so that, we can win and you can lose pretty much. It is what it is. Tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.